What's going on, Knicks Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Knicks Nation podcast. Here, joined by my co-host Chris. Got to just touch on a few things that we realized and noticed during these past few games for the New York Knicks. It's still early, but there are some, you want to call them concerns. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But Chris, what's going on, man? How have you been?
Doing all right, man. I'm hanging in there. I gotta remind myself it's the beginning of the season. Knicks are, just trying to find their mojo, man. How are you feeling, man?
Feeling good, feeling good. So the New York Knicks went 1-2 during this 3-game stretch. They lost to the Boston Celtics in Madison Square Garden. Then they beat Atlanta in a great showing. Everyone pretty much showed out during that game. And then the NBA, honestly, the NBA did the Knicks no favors having them go to the New Orleans in a back-to-back while the Pelicans were resting a few days. But hey, that's the NBA schedule. No excuses, right? But the NBA did them no favors. Nobody in that game was playing well. So we're 1-2 on the season. We have a back-to-back against the Cleveland Cavaliers here coming up. And I guess what I want to see out of them is, some more continuity on the offensive end. Defensively in that Pelican game, I feel like we took a step back as a team. We can talk about some individual statistics here as well, especially Julius Randle, who has not been shooting the ball well to start the season. Don't know whether that's to do with his ankle injury or not, but yeah, Chris, I mean, we've seen some good things from the New York Knicks. Bad game out of Brunson first game, then a great game, then a bad game out of him again. Julius Randle to start the year, he's been shooting terribly. I mean, I have the stats right here. 13 of 47 from the field, which is absolutely a disaster especially for Julius Randle. I mean, during the playoffs, he wasn't shooting the ball as well. We don't know if that ankle injury is affecting him. RJ Barrett has been the lone bright spot to start the season. He's been the most consistent player. And then Emmanuel quickly had that great showing in game one, but he's been kind of like hot and cold. DiVincenzo, I mean, where do you want to start? Which player do you want to start with? Anyone concern you the most, or are you just under the impression like it's still early, let's just calm down and relax?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in between, right? I mean, it is early, but I'm getting a little bit of concern with Julius, man. Look, I know he had the ankle surgery. He didn't have the summer he usually would have, and maybe that's playing a part in it too. But you know, it's kind of concerning. I mean, we did see him against the Hawks. He played, he didn't shoot it well, but he was facilitating, getting other people involved. It was like a different Julius. We always say when he's passing the ball, he unlocks another. It's just another aspect of his game that can actually make other players better. And then you fast forward to the Pelican game where his shot isn't falling, and it didn't seem like he was trying to really pass the ball much. Kind of frustrating, especially after the game, against the Hawks where he showed he can do that. But I don't know, man. What do you think about Julius? Do you think it's just basically he's too rusty? His ankle surgery got in the way of his preparation for the season, and now he's trying to ramp up during the season. I mean, I hate to make excuses or anything like that, but I'm starting to get a little bit concerned because the trend with Julius is one good season, one bad season, one good season, one bad season. But
Yeah.
hopefully I'm wrong. But what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on the Julius Randle, I don't know. I don't really know. Like, he does have a trend: one good, one bad season, one good season, one bad season. But I actually thought he was playing okay to start the season, especially during that Hawks game where he was a facilitator more or less. I believe he had 9 assists. He's been more of a passive player, and the Knicks came into this season wanting to be a passing team because obviously offensively, they were top 3 in offensive rating, but in terms of passing the ball, they were one of the bottom teams in the league. So obviously you want to share the ball more. So I just feel like he's trying to simultaneously do both at the same time, maybe, but his shot just isn't falling at the moment. Look, it's only 3 games. Do I think he's gonna snap out of it? Yes. Do I hope he can snap out of it? Yes. But we've seen this with Julius Randle for years, right? He has cold streaks and he has hot streaks and he has cold streaks. But I guess I'm just not that concerned because of his passing. He's passing the ball really well. He's trying to get others involved. The Pelican game, how many turnovers did he have in that game? Like 8 or 9 or something crazy in that game. So obviously he's that game was, look, the way he was defending Zion, especially, was he was trying to make Zion shoot the ball, and then Zion would just blow right past him, going to his left. I didn't understand the Knicks' game plan in that game, especially Tom Thibodeau starting Julius Randle, playing him the entire first and third quarter off of a back to back, which is, I mean, that's Tom Thibodeau for you. So this is a long season, so we hope to, get some other guys involved. But regarding Julius, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is I want to just give it a few more games. And then if this continues, then yes, I'm concerned. But, we've seen him before. These hot and cold streaks just happen with him. And, right now we're just going to have to live with it. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Definitely. Again, it's only what, 3 games now. He definitely has some rust, that's for sure. And I hope he gets it together, man. We're gonna need Julius. I mean, he's a big part of this team, and I think it's a combination of all the things: the ankle surgery, not being able to go through his normal prep, and just trying to get his legs under him. But we'll see, man. Hopefully, Julius can right the ship sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, his usage is still high. It's 27.9%. That's up there, obviously, with RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson, along with Emmanuel Quickly has. Wow, Emmanuel Quickly has the highest usage on the New York Knicks, 28.6%. So when he's coming in the game, he's looking for his shot. His assist percentage, Julius Randle, is actually kind of high too, 29.2%. That's pretty good. Obviously, the turnovers during the last Pelican game was an issue. So yeah, I'm just looking at these analytic numbers. So yeah, regarding his shooting, I want to see his shooting. I'm just going through his shooting. Yeah, it's all bad. Efficiency, field goal percentage, it's negative 6.9% right now. Terrible. Negative 29 point, negative 29% at the rim. Yeah, his numbers are all terrible right now. He's shooting best during when he's shooting the corner three. So, look, few games in, not concerned with. I mean, I'm a little concerned, but I'm just like what I'm seeing in terms of passing the ball from Julius Randle in that regard. Any game you wanted to touch on, Chris? I mean, the Pelican game. Anyone else you wanted to pinpoint? I know you were high on RJ Barrett these first 3 games. He's really been playing well.
Yeah, RJ. Again, I love what he's doing. He just looks more confident out there. He's hitting some shots now, and he's attacking the rim. But more importantly, he's making smart plays, man. And I think that's the biggest part of growth I see right now for RJ Barrett is just he doesn't look like he's second guessing himself anymore. He's attacking. He has a plan whether he's gonna go up or he's gonna dish out. He just looks a lot more confident, and so far so good with RJ, man. I think he's been the brightest spot right now for the Knicks, and small sample size, but so far, I mean, if he continues this trend, I mean, he can make a pretty good leap for us here.
He can, and what's been impressive is his mid-range shooting. Obviously, we've all wanted RJ Barrett to develop a mid-range jump shot, and he is shooting the mid-range jump shot at I believe, a career high at 42% right now, which is a career high. He's 8 of 19 from the mid-range. So if he can implement that in his game, look out. I'm not saying he could be an all-star, but, sky's the limit for this kid. And he's been the most consistent Knick player so far during these 3 games, and he's been very, very impressive. And I'm impressive. I mean, his defense, too, hasn't been terrible. I mean, last year his defense was, subpar, to say the least. So, RJ Barrett has been a bright spot for us. And if we can get that, Chris, out of RJ Barrett throughout the year, sign me up, man, because 23 years old, we keep throwing age around RJ Barrett. But, who's to say he can't just continue to get better and better? And he has.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we always throw around, hey, he's young, he's 23, but now he's showing improvement, and every player is different, right? Some players get it right away, other players they blossom a bit later, and RJ seems to be somewhere in between, but he's always gotten better at something, it seems, every year. And this time, like you mentioned, his defense, last year not so great, but so far to start this year, and maybe it's because he's having more of an impact offensively, he has that confidence. It's translating to his defense. He's giving more effort. You don't really see him getting beaten too badly on the defensive end as he was last year.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just a product of him having a better flow offensively, and it's just, seeping over on the defensive end, which I love to see because, RJ is capable, man. He showed us that he can play defense, at a decent level in the past. So if he gets it, if he puts it all together, man, sky's the limit for RJ, in my opinion. I'm gonna temper my expectations a little bit, but I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far out of him as well. And he look, keep it up, man. I mean, you've been playing well. We just want nothing but the best for RJ. I mean, obviously he's caught slings and arrows just like every other player in New York. But
Oh yeah,
yeah. Look, we're 1-2. It's nothing to get too concerned over. There are concerns. I mean, right now the New York Knicks are obviously they're one of the best. They are right now in terms of analytics the best offensive rebounding team in the league. Efficiency, though, not so much. They are 27th in the NBA, which is not great. Free throw rate, 21st. They're getting to the line sometimes, but they're not knocking down their free throws. So they're trying to just share the ball more and more, but it just here are the concerns I have. I just want to get right to it. Obviously, we thought that Quentin Grimes was going to be, at least I thought that Quentin Grimes was going to be a very key piece in our offense. And right now, it seems like Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. Look, when Quentin Grimes is starting, I just feel like he's just out there just doing cardio, Chris, at this point. I just feel like he's hasn't found his groove yet. And Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle sometimes need to take it upon themselves to help him, get involved more in the offense. And your starting shooting guard shouldn't shoot under 10 field goal attempts a game. And, 2 times, I believe, he shot under 10 field goal attempts a game. And it was interesting during that Pelican game. Tom Thibodeau subbed everyone out there in the last 3 minutes of that game, but he left in Quentin Grimes. And I was like, why? He's your starting shooting guard. Wouldn't you want to take him out? It was a blowout. He left him in there. So I don't know if he's just trying to, maybe spark something from Quentin Grimes, but I just feel like they need to do a better job getting him the basketball. And whether that's as long as Grimes is going to play with Brunson, Randle, and RJ Barrett, 3 of the top usage players in terms of the New York Knicks team, I just feel like he's not going to be able to shine, Chris. And I've had this concern, coming into this season, and it's just the same thing with him, man. It's the same thing, and I don't know where to pinpoint it. Maybe can he come off the bench and shine with the bench unit? I don't know. What are your thoughts about Grimes? Maybe it's weird, right? It's like a weird dynamic. He has all the tools, but it's like they don't utilize them right.
yeah. That's the thing. I mean, you see it. He has all the tools. He's able to shoot. He's able to defend at a high level. He can, he can create a bit, and he's shown that he can even break down the defense. Also, he's not just a catch and shoot type of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody wants to make him out to just strictly a 3-and-D guy, but we've seen enough from Quentin Grimes where we know there's more there to unlock, right?
You
And
think?
I think it goes back to the game plan. I get it. We have Julius Randle, we have Jalen Brunson, we have RJ Barrett, and those are the guys that are more than likely going to take most of the shots. But I'll go back to the Celtics game, the first game of the season. There was actually a play that was called, and this was for RJ, where he curled off. This was an inbound play, curled off. I forget who set the screen for him, but he curled off a screen and took a 3-point jump shot. Why can't they run that for Quentin Grimes? You know,
Yeah.
that's the type of creativity that I would like to see them, put in a couple plays for Grimes where he's getting screened and he can roll, take a quick shot, something like that. I think that would fit his game perfectly. I don't know why it's not done more. Hell, if they can call it for RJ Barrett, why not Quentin Grimes? So to echo back to what you were saying, though, I do get worried too because he kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And for him to unlock his full potential, he needs to get some shots up, at least 10, in my opinion. He should be getting at least 10.
At least. I feel like one of your best shooters on your team should be getting at least 10 shots up a game. And I know RJ Barrett has been, a bright spot for the New York Knicks. He's actually been shooting the 3 really well. But, sometimes I would like to see some of those, shots go to Grimes' way, right? I mean, but the thing is, if you were to bring him off the bench, you would obviously bring him in with who would replace him? Josh Hart or DiVincenzo. So Grimes will come in with an Emmanuel quickly. Which I don't know. At this point, if this continues, we might have to start talking about a switch in the starting lineup. And this is not because of Quentin Grimes' fault. It's because
Right.
we're just trying to find out where he fits, right? And even DiVincenzo here hasn't like during the Hawks game, he was awesome, but he just hasn't found his footing yet. Especially Josh Hart. Josh Hart hasn't found his footing yet as well. So he's been struggling off the bench, but it's just 3 games. I don't want to overreact, but we're just seeing little things that we can pick at and nitpick here and there. So it's just things we wanted to bring up. But yeah, Grimes, like five, like I just want to see a 10-game sample size of how the Knicks utilize him, and
Yeah.
I guess we just go from there. I mean, he's still young. He's 23. He's one of their best shooters, and we just have to hope that they utilize him well. And fingers crossed, man. I mean, because I feel like if Grimes is rolling along with Barrett, that makes us an elite team, a dominant team. And
Yeah.
sometimes the guys have to figure out when they're not having it, give it to Grimes, or give it to someone else.
I know I mentioned this before, but when it comes to Quentin Grimes in the starting lineup, what do you what change would you make there? I mean, do you think it might be time? And again, I know 3 games in, I'm not saying this right away, but eventually, if things continue going the way they do with Grimes, and again, not that he's playing bad or anything, we're trying to find more shots for him, right?
Yeah.
Do you kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone and just throw Emmanuel quickly in his spot, let Grimes run with the bench, and see how that goes? I mean, kind of satisfies the quickly, wanting to start thing, and kind of, in my opinion, will free up some shots for Grimes, as he'll be kind of like, I guess you could say, the focal point of the bench unit as far as scoring goes. Also gives him a chance to create a bit more and show more of his talents. What do you think about that?
You see, I don't know. I feel like the guy that I would insert into the starting lineup would be a Josh Hart, because he's not the guy that needs the ball in his hands to make an impact, right? And with
Yeah,
Grimes, it's like he doesn't need the ball in his hands to make an impact as well, but he's such a great shooter. At times, he's just in the corner, just waiting for a pass or waiting for an open look. But would he be better suited off the bench with Emmanuel quickly trying to find him those open looks, and a Dante DiVincenzo, more playmakers, in that regard, more ball handlers that are willing to share the ball more? Maybe. I don't know. And I feel like it's something that the New York Knicks should look into, because, it's something's just not clicking with him in the starting lineup. Don't know where to look. Like Brunson has, when Brunson has it going, Brunson has it going. There's no stopping Jalen Brunson. When Randall has it going, there's no stopping Julius Randle. It's just sometimes, especially when those two have it going, especially with RJ Barrett, it's hard for Grimes to find his offense. That's why you have these nights where Grimes plays well, these nights where he's a ghost. So I don't know. I just hope the Knicks can find some kind of common ground with that, and a few games, go by, 10, 15 games go by, and it's the same result. I feel like they should look into it. Tom Thibodeau left it open before the season. Right now, he said Quentin Grimes is a starter, but who knows, man? Who knows? I don't know. But just something we noticed about Quentin Grimes, and hopefully he can shake it off. Obviously, he's a great 3-point shooter and whatnot. It's just that the Knicks aren't really utilizing him to his proper ability. And I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. So couple of games here coming up, Chris, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And would you say that these are important games? Because some chirping is going on outside in Cleveland, saying that, they were salty about
boy.
the first round loss and they can't wait. I think they were happy that we got eliminated from the Miami Heat. That's when they got over losing to the New York Knicks. Back-to-back games versus the Cleveland Cavaliers coming up here. And, this is a different Cavs team. They may be without Garland, though, which is important for them. I think he's dealing with an injury.
Yeah.
So, different Cavs team, though, Chris. Looks like Donovan Mitchell's back practicing. So, what are your expectations about this upcoming 2-game series against the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I think we're taking both games. That's what I'm thinking. We got
Yeah.
some time to rest. Knicks are gonna be in there. Tibbs is gonna be on them. We're gonna clean up all this sloppy play, all this turnovers. You know, that's wishful thinking, in my opinion. No, in reality, I think it's gonna be a battle. I mean, the Cavs, obviously they want to bring it to the Knicks. We eliminated them. They're gonna have a chip on their shoulder. They're gonna want to prove that. I mean, they can't call it a fluke, right? But they're
Yeah.
going to go out there and they're going to want to make a statement, in my opinion. Both teams have identical records right now. So, I mean, it's gonna be a battle, man. I think the Knicks are gonna definitely take one. I could see a split happening, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either if the Knicks took both. I think we just match up really well with them, and if they don't have Garland, that's more of a advantage for us. And we all know what Mitch can do, two against one. So, in my opinion, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Now, granted, we're gonna need Julius to wake up. We're gonna need Brunson to be his usual self. But I feel pretty good. How do you feel about these upcoming games? I mean, again, two tough games. I mean,
Tough.
the
Yeah.
Cavs are no walk in the park, but I feel pretty confident going in.
I feel like we need to split them because then we have the Bucks in Milwaukee on Friday. So we have Cleveland, then the Bucks and the Clippers at home. So they're already 1-2. You don't want to get off to a rough start, man. Early in the season. I mean,
Yeah.
last year, I say that, and then last year we got off to a rough start and we made it to the second round of the playoffs. But I don't want to get off to a rough
Last year
start, man.
was
I want to
really
start. Yeah, I want to start the season off on a high note. Good
yeah.
vibes all around. So I feel like you have to get this split. Maybe take both of them, which is icing on the cake. I know the Knicks have the Cleveland Cavaliers numbers, but I just want to see you know more better shooting out of Randall. Brunson getting more people involved. Hopefully he can knock out the rust. Bench unit, Josh Hart. Concerned about Josh Hart at all? These first few games haven't been, the Josh Hart-esque games that we've seen later on during last season and during the playoffs, especially. Are you
Yeah.
concerned, or you just pinpointing it to FIBA rust and whatnot, maybe tired legs here and
Yeah.
there? Look, this was a concern coming
I
into the
think
season. We said tired legs could be an issue, and I believe Josh Hart was quoted saying that he's tired. He doesn't know how these guys do it during the summer. So I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I kind of give a little of that leeway to even Brunson, really, because again, in the same way Julius, couldn't prepare for the season like he normally would. You can say the same thing for Brunson. You can say the same thing for Josh Hart. I mean, these guys aren't used to playing in FIBA. They're used to their normal summer preparations, in my opinion, and they're creatures of habit, right?
Yeah,
So anything that changes that, you never know how it's going to go. I mean, look at RJ. RJ played in FIBA and he looks amazing right now to
yeah, that's
start.
true. Yeah,
So every player is different, but I'm not too worried. Well, when it comes to Brunson, we all know he's going to figure it out. When it comes to Josh Hart, I think he's a little tired. Maybe his conditioning isn't there yet where he'd like it to be. But I also think, when we acquired Josh Hart, he gave us such an impact on, I mean, the timely shots, the clutch 3-point shots he would hit, the defense, the just all the gritty plays. But you got to remember, we were making a push into the playoffs at that point. So everything is just magnified. Right now, it's the start of the season.
yeah,
You don't really want Josh Hart to be throwing himself into the crowd, diving for loose balls, getting hurt or something like that. I think he's just trying to get his feet under him. And, I think he's still playing well. He's still making timely shots, in my opinion. But maybe we got a little bit spoiled with, the impact he had earlier on last year.
yeah. Look, it's still early. But Josh Hart along with DiVincenzo, there's been spurts out the bench. Even Emmanuel quickly had that great game one, but he's been like okay. And obviously there's some concerns, but it's still super early. Only 3 games in. Hopefully we get these little things situated versus Cleveland Cavaliers mini series. But yeah, Josh Hart. I mean, we know what he's gonna bring. Hopefully, he can just provide that for us, and we can get it going. I want to see these guys clicking, and we saw that during the Hawks game, right? We saw everyone clicking during the Atlanta game, and I just feel like it was a bad back to back. Everyone was tired. It was a time zone change. Pelicans were resting. People were off. Randall was turning the ball over every single second. Literally, it was a tough watch. Honestly, it was a tough watch,
Yeah.
especially watching Randall, play on offense and defense. Just a tough loss, tough way to lose. But hey, man, we got another game coming up here, another couple of games that we got to get back. Dante DiVincenzo, Chris, any concerns? Just trying to find his footing on the bench. You can just point it to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's trying to figure it out. I mean, trying to figure out where he fits, where to take his shots, where not to. He looks a little bit lost out there, just a little bit, but I'm sure he'll be fine, man. There's always space out there for shooters, in my opinion, and
yeah.
especially someone who can defend at the level he can. So I'm not too worried about DiVincenzo. New team, especially coming from the Warriors, where it's a completely different scheme than what Tibbs runs. So I'm not too concerned yet. Like you said, I would like a bigger sample size, but I think he's gonna be fine. I mean, I don't think I see a scenario where Dante DiVincenzo is stuck on the bench because he
Yeah.
just doesn't fit or something.
No, we saw it during the Hawks game where he can really shoot the lights out and he can play make a little bit. A couple of times that he's been caught. He's missed a couple of easy layups, and that was red flag with him. He misses a lot of shots around the rim. His percentage around the rim wasn't that great. That was the only red flag with him. But we've seen it during the preseason. His defensive tenacity and is all going to be there. So not concerned about that at all. Like I said, we're just nitpicking here. But 1 and 2, everyone wants to blame somebody, and we're just trying to pinpoint what can be better, what is bad right now, and trying to figure out ways how we can get back to our winning ways. All right, so the NBA flopping rule is off to I would say not so great of a start. I mean, I don't know how it is around the league, but Brunson has been called for a few flops here. Boston game, NBA admitted that they messed up pretty much. Posted a video about that. You guys can go check it out. But Boston game, they admitted they messed up, and I believe during the Hawks game that he got hit with a fine too. DiVincenzo got hit with a fine in one of the games as well.
Yeah.
The NBA is literally tweeting out the videos of where these players flop. It's kind of funny, to be honest with you, but I mean, flopping rule. You like it, hate it. It is what it is.
I mean, Brunson got called for another one. Kind of the same scenario where he went up for a shot and landed on a defender's foot. And come on, man, that's a foul every time. I don't understand how you
Yeah,
can go up for a shot, land on somebody's foot, and then instantly flop. I mean, if they're doing that, that's amazing. But I mean, that's a foul. I mean, I do like it because I do want flopping to be out of the NBA. But
yeah,
I think the referees are so focused on it right now that instead of calling things that would normally be fouls, they're just focused on, oh, that was a flop. Let's call that a flop. And in my opinion, it's I mean, in my opinion, that could have been the difference in the Celtics game, right? Because Brunson gets that foul call, he's shooting 3 free throws.
yeah.
We possibly go up by 5, and maybe that's a different game, right? Um, I'd love to kind of get feedback and see what's going on with other teams in this flopping call, but it's it's getting to a point where it's getting kind of annoying, man. What are your thoughts on this?
I liked it when they first introduced it. I just feel like with any rule, it's obviously gonna come with its downfalls in the beginning, and I'm just hoping they clean it up a little bit. Maybe they can make it reviewable. A couple of those calls did Brunson maybe flop, maybe, but that Celtics one was a killer, and they're just trying to take flopping out the game, which I agree with. I hate flopping, like I hate floppers, but when I
Yeah,
think of Jalen Brunson, I don't think of a flopper, right?
right.
It's just I just feel like it's early, and I just feel like they're trying to there's some kinks that need to be addressed, and hopefully it will be addressed. But it just sucks that it was against us in a negative way, because obviously that game versus Boston could have turned into a positive way. But
Yeah,
it is what it is, man. I mean,
yeah,
flopping is all over the league. I mean, they should make that reviewable, because if you just judge it right
right.
there on the spot, you really don't know. Like if somebody gets elbowed in the
Yeah,
face and the NBA referee says that they flopped, if you review that, what if they didn't actually flop and they actually got hit in the face? So it's
yeah.
not
Kind of,
reviewable,
kind of
right?
like what happened to iHeart.
Yeah,
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I mean, I think it should be like you said, because I mean, would it be more difficult to kind of pinpoint if it was a flop or not when things are in slow motion? I mean, I guess so, but
yeah,
in my opinion, that should be something definitely reviewable because, for instance, that Jalen Brunson against the Celtics, if they reviewed that, they probably would have seen that how can you really flop when he actually landed on Jason Tatum's foot?
yeah,
I mean, I guess what my biggest gripe with it also is like, is it only when are they only calling flops when there's like a motion, like when you're attacking the rim, when you're going up for a shot, or does it Does it, can they call it when you're driving? Because I saw the Atlanta game and Trey Young was snapping his head back every chance he got. You know, every little
They weren't
layup.
calling the fouls,
He
which
was,
is great, but
yeah. But I
he was
mean, you could
flopping.
have called
Yeah,
at least 50 of these on Trey Young himself.
yeah, true.
But I didn't see not even one, really, in my opinion, called against them. So what defines a flop? Isn't that the definition of a flop? Doing some kind of egregious, look at me, I got hit
Yeah,
type of deal. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of the frustrating part about it for me, at least at this moment. There's just doesn't seem to be a clear cut. I don't know.
yeah.
It's
It's
frustrating. I'm frustrated right
it's
now.
it's yeah. The rule. Look, I like the rule, but right now it just sucks. I mean, we'll see what comes about it. Hopefully, no games will be impacted, and them calling a flopping call in the last 2 minutes. That's kind of brutal, but yeah. So Chris, today the NBA actually released the what was it? The new city floors? No, the NBA tournament floors, and they released a new
Yes.
floor for all 30 teams. And I'm gonna put it here on screen. If you're listening to us on Apple or Spotify, just come check out the video. Or if you haven't seen it already, it's all over Twitter at Knicks Nation. But what do you think of this new bright orange Nick floor that the NBA released in this NBA tournament style floor? Now, it was reported that the New York Knicks tried to get this floor to be gray instead of orange. So,
Oh,
yeah. Right now, it's just, hold on. All right, so here it is on the screen, the YouTube screen. And wow, you have the NBA Cup at each free throw line, and you have the big NBA Cup in the middle. Then you have this just solid blue line going across from end to end. And wow, what are your thoughts about this?
it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like it too much, to be honest. But I mean, earlier there was all over social media, the new City Edition uniforms that were leaked out. I mean, I guess those are definitely coming because that's the same New York in the middle of this court here.
Yeah,
Um, I did like the jerseys a bit. I mean, they're interesting in their own right, but I don't know about this floor, man. It might be difficult to watch, man, on TV. That's for sure. But
oh
I don't know.
man,
What are your thoughts?
I don't
Do
like it at
you
all.
like this?
No, it's ugly. It's hideous. Are you kidding me? Like, what is this? Like, they just they do that? Does the NBA like hire a designer like off the like
Yeah,
street?
I
Like, hey, do you
mean,
design stuff? Can you just throw this together? Just let's add one cup to one end, another cup to the end, and another cup in the middle. Double New York in the middle. Are we gonna wear the city jerseys during this? Is this why the double New York is in the middle? Like,
I'm assuming it has to be. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense in my opinion.
I mean, the bright orange, the whole court is orange. I mean, maybe it looks better in person. I hope it looks better in person, but I'm sure
That's true.
seeing
That's
this on
true.
I'm sure seeing this on the screen is going to be wow, like wow. But I'm hoping that it looks better in person because this image is, I don't like it. I mean, I haven't really looked at the other NBA teams, but I'm sure. Like, have you looked at the other ones? Like, I'm sure they're good ones, and I'm sure they're bad
They're
ones.
pretty
But
similar, actually. They're
yeah,
actually pretty similar, where the cup is on both sides and then one in the middle. So must be a standardized. Maybe the NBA just wanted it to be this way for the first tournament. And who knows? Who knows if it will carry on past this season? But I don't know. I definitely like the jerseys that got leaked out, but I'm not too sure about this. I mean, if you think about it, they wear those jerseys and they're playing on this court. You're probably not going to see anyone. They're going to blend into the. It's going to be difficult, man, in my opinion. But
I don't know, man. I've
I don't
seen
know.
there's so many. I don't know. They could have designed, could have designed this, but they just threw orange on the court, three cups on the court. Who knows? Maybe it looks better in person. But NBA tournament, I believe the NBA tournament starts this week, Chris. Like November, I
Ooh.
think on November 1st or the 3rd. I think those games count towards. I think the game versus the Bucks, I think, counts towards the NBA tournament that the Knicks have.
Oh
So,
man, that's a hell of a game for it to start.
would you hang a banner in Madison Square Garden if the Knicks win that tournament, NBA tournament champions in Vegas? If we
I
make it
guess
to
you have
Vegas,
to.
are you booking a flight to go see the Knicks team, another team, NBA Cup Finals? Are you booking a flight for that?
Oh man, it depends on the opponent, right? I'd have to know that they're going to win it for sure.
That would be our finals, right? We haven't seen one in what 50 plus years. If we win the NBA Cup, will they be,
I mean,
people
I'm not
fans will
even
go
mad.
crazy.
If we win it,
Madison. 7-5 will go
oh
crazy.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
bragging rights. We'll get the first one.
Ooh, I like that. First NBA Cup champions, a trivia question. So it's interesting, man. The NBA changed a little bit this season. It's interesting to see how this, tournament structure will, pan out. But yeah, I mean, anything else you wanted to talk on before we head up out of here? We talked on, the struggles and, just a few games in, we don't want to get too crazy. Don't want to pinpoint anything that's,
Yeah,
wrong with the Knicks per se. But next week we'll have a better picture. Like if the Knicks go 2-0 versus the Cavs, everything will be positive. If the Knicks go 0-2 versus the Cavs and lose versus the Milwaukee Bucks, everything will be negative, honestly. Then we'll start, having some concerns. But it's still early, right, Chris? No concerns. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, this isn't a panic session here. We're just voicing some concerns that we see throughout the first three games. You know, no need to panic. Still
yeah.
early. Like the title of this pod says, shaking off the rust, and that's exactly what the Knicks are doing. I'm not overly concerned. I'm sure we'll be fine. And yeah, Knicks fans, I mean, just stay tuned, man. Better things are to come.
Better bettings for sure are to come. I have a question from the comments from Buzzer Beater that I wanted to get to. He said, "This is for Anthony and Chris." Is one we Buzzer Beater came up with this. This is a question from someone on YouTube. All right, this is not from me or Chris. We do not want to do this, but he says, "This is for Anthony and Chris. It's 1 week before the trading deadline. RJ Barrett is shooting 47% from the field and 38% from three. He has a +2 net rating. Spida has declined his extension with Cleveland." That's Donovan Mitchell. "Do you trade RJ Barrett for Donovan Mitchell?" Such a straightforward question there, but I mean, I wouldn't, because it seems like Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to be in Cleveland. You could probably outright sign him if he's a free agent in a couple of years if the Knicks will have cap space, but I'm not trading RJ Barrett for Donovan Mitchell, considering what RJ Barrett did to them in the playoffs. But does Donovan Mitchell make us better? Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm not doing that. What do you
Oh yeah.
share the same
I
sentiment, Chris?
mean, oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, 100%. I mean, it's no secret. Donovan Mitchell, yes, he's with Cleveland. He's a good player. He's a good soldier. He's gonna say all the right things while he's there. He's gonna play out that contract. But I believe there was some news that he made it known he's not signing an extension.
Yeah.
So the writing's on the wall.
He's
He
out of
doesn't
there.
want to be there.
He's not he's out
And
of
the
there.
Knicks know, everybody knows he wants to come to New York. And why give up assets for him? Just wait it out. Wait it out and then sign him. If you want Donovan Mitchell, sign him.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he'll still want to come here, considering the comments that Scott Perry made as of late. That's been flowing all over social media.
Yeah, what are your
Who knows?
wow, we
Maybe
didn't
that'll
even
make
touch
him.
on that. Jeez.
Maybe that'll make him want to come even more, just to prove him wrong. But who knows? Would I trade RJ Barrett though? No, no way. I wouldn't even give up Miles McBride for him, because the writing's on the wall. He's not staying with Cleveland unless they give him
Wait,
some
what?
ridiculous contract that he
Wait.
can't
Miles
say no
McBride, you
to.
wouldn't give up for Mitchell? Come on, kids. Now you're getting
Well, I'm
too.
saying I wouldn't give it up right now. I wouldn't give it up, man. Come on, Donovan Mitchell can get signed for nothing, just money.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But
that's
that's not
why
until
I'm being a
another
little
couple of years, though.
extreme, but
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, for real. That's down the line, but I think right now we're in a good spot. RJ's improving. Why not see where it goes? Rather than ship him off, and who knows if RJ did turn the corner, then you just ship them off. Yes, we'll get Donovan Mitchell, but it wouldn't just be RJ Barrett in that deal.
look, any deal involving a superstar would probably include maybe a quickly. But I don't know. I'm just spitballing. But yeah, Chris, Scott Perry was all over social media, pretty much saying that you don't give up the farm for somebody who's not who hasn't been to the finals or isn't a game changer. I'm like paraphrasing here.
Yeah,
Don't know exactly what he said, but it's clear that he was the one not trying to make that deal. Does that is that the reason why he's no longer with the Knicks no more? Who knows? But he gave a lot of details
who
and
knows?
into also praising RJ Barrett into the trade, saying that yeah, that was kind of shocking hearing that from him, honestly.
Yeah, In my
Yeah.
opinion, it was really shocking because this isn't long ago or anything. You're not talking about 10 years
No,
later, and then Scott Perry's revealing all his secrets or whatever. No, this was literally
a year ago.
a summer or two ago. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he's letting all these details out now, and you know, I get it. He's moved on, but you still kind of want to keep that on the wraps, in my opinion, especially when there's still noise that he might want to, Donovan Mitchell, that is, might want to come to New York still. I think.
Yeah.
What do you think? Could it hurt? Could it hurt the Knicks if they were to be like, "Hey, Donovan, we're still interested. You want to come here?"
No, because he's no longer
Would
on the
he be
Knicks.
like, "No"?
Scott Perry's no
Yeah.
longer here, so I just feel like now he's,
Even so, though,
no.
he was still kind of ingrained in that front office. He might think, "Oh man, maybe other people share that same sentiment," and I'm sure to an extent that is true. But you know, do you think that would
Yeah,
hold any water?
it may, but what you said is true. Maybe I don't know. I just when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's coming from Scott Perry. I mean, he rarely talked. No one in the front office talks for the New York
Right.
Knicks, and now he's no longer there, and now he's talking. So maybe some people share the same sentiment as him. Maybe some people wanted to trade for Donovan Mitchell. Maybe Leon Rose wanted to trade for Donovan Mitchell, and Scott Perry was like, no, I don't want to trade for Donovan Mitchell. But I don't know. We'll never know. But it just seems like it's clear that he didn't want to trade for Donovan Mitchell. Now, is that the reason why he's out of the job? No, I don't think so. It seems like it was a mutual agreement. But yeah, it's interesting. But it's just something to ponder about, something to think about, something to I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But I honestly think the Donovan Mitchell experiment is probably over. I would think, but who knows? It was just shocking hearing that from Scott Perry. But something for
Yeah.
us Knicks fans to talk about and talk over. But I don't know. It was interesting, man. I mean, I was thinking, I
Yeah.
was like, wow, so Scott Perry, you're the one who didn't want Donovan Mitchell. Because I remember in the moment, I was like, damn, I wanted Mitchell, man. And obviously, it worked out in hindsight, but it is what
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, so many chances to get Donovan Mitchell, right? And then you think, you almost feel like eventually it's just gonna happen, right? I mean, you never
Yeah.
know. But anything else you want to touch on, Ann? There's been a lot of chatter on Carl Anthony Towns, man.
No, I don't
Again,
want to touch on that. Thank you.
popping up. I don't know, man. I have a
Nah,
feeling.
I'm good.
I mean, I've mentioned this before too with Carl Anthony Towns. If that's who we end up with as the star coming to New York, something went wrong. But
Yeah, I don't. I
I
mean,
mean, I'm seeing a lot of rumors out there,
no,
man. It's making me a little nervous.
I feel like it'll be for Embiid, and I just feel like that's the big fish. If things go wrong in Philly, obviously whoever's available will be traded for Embiid. But no, regarding Cat, don't want that. Nothing to do with the New York Knicks. But yeah, man, we'll be back on here versus the doing the post game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. So make sure you check us out. Once again, I am giving away an RJ Barrett jersey. So if you didn't know, hit the other video, the RJ Barrett video that I made. Like the video, subscribe, comment, and you will be entered in that raffle. Ready to ship it out. Probably give it another couple of days. I'm sure a lot of you have commented already. I'm already seeing good results out of that. That should be fun. We'll be doing giveaways all season long. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. We'll be back on Tuesday doing a post game. Chris, man, this was fun. As always, let's go Knicks.
This is awesome. Let's go, Knicks. We'll be back on Tuesday, hopefully
With a
talking
win.
about a Knicks win against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes, sir. I'm Anthony. That is Chris. We are out of here. Peace.